All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is March 27th. We're starting the week. We got a Monday with 8 NBA games on. We're going to jump into each and every game. I'll give you my lean on the spread, give you my lean on the total. But like I tell you guys, make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment. That is where the final plays will be. My final plays, what I'm most confident in, what I'm actually going to be rolling with tonight. I update that throughout the day, so make sure to keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. You guys have absolutely been killing it as of late. Cannot thank you guys enough. We saw 20,000 subscribers and they're like right past it, but we still want to do a giveaway for 20K, so keep an eye out for some of my posts and I'll update you guys in videos and whatnot. In terms of updates and whatnot, right? We still have the Thrive Fantasy contest going on right now, guys. Make sure to check out the link in my bio, or link in the description. It is 100% free to enter, and you can win some money in the contest. It's for MLB opening day. Make sure to check it out. The password for the contest is Boston. I also have a video on my Twitter at FGuyBoston that explains it a little bit more. But guys, go check it out. All you have to do is go in, create a lineup, compete with me and a bunch of other people, and they're paying 130 places. I think there's only like 20 people in there right now. So if you enter the contest right now, sign up for Thrive Fantasy, enter the contest for free, you're gonna get money as of right now, right? And also the winner is going to get a pair of Red Sox tickets. So if you're interested in going to the game there, you'll win that as well as the $50 prize to first place. So check out Thrive Fantasy, guys. Again, link in the bio. Just find it in the MLB contest section, and it's the Guy Boston Sports opening day free roll. But let's jump into the NBA games for tonight. We got the Pacers taking on the Mavericks here. Pacers 1-point dogs at home. Total sitting at 234. Luka is questionable tonight. Obviously, you want to keep an eye on that. And then same thing for Indiana. A couple big injuries. Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton both questionable as well. So in terms of this game, you're probably going to want to wait out the injury report. I will say, if all the guys that are questionable don't play, I'm going to lean towards Dallas. But if, Indiana has all their guys and Luka sits out, I'm probably going to second guess it a little bit and maybe stay away from the game. So I'm going to lean towards Dallas here, minus the 1 point. They have lost 4 straight games. They lost 2 against Charlotte. Not looking all that great. They were 15 and 12-point favorites going into those games. Did not take it, but they have to have a little fire under their ass for that. So I'm not going to really put all my eggs into this Dallas basket, but I do think that they can win this game, which pretty much is the spread there at -1. So I'm going to lean towards Dallas -1. And then in terms of a total 234, I just haven't really seen Dallas consistently score here. I know Indiana can drop, 120 at any given moment, but I think if Dallas does go, the game does go like I think, and Dallas ends up winning the game, they'll control the pace. So I'm actually going to lean towards the under in this one, and I could probably see this one sticking around in the 220s or so. Moving on, we have the Pistons taking on the Bucks. Pistons 15.5-point favorites against the Bucks here. Total at 233. Giannis is probable here, but he is on the injury report. And then for Detroit, they have the usual suspects, a bunch of guys all out here. Bucks coming off of a loss against Denver. They're 3.5-point dogs. They lost that game by like 20+ points. Detroit won 1 game in their last 9. They've only covered 2 of their last 10. They're really not playing good basketball. No kidding, right? What news is this that this Pistons team just isn't playing good ball? I do think 15.5 points is a lot to give, though. So just by default, I'm going to lean Detroit at home plus 15.5. It stinks. I don't envision this becoming a play or anything like that, but I just can't really get myself to be like, all right, let's lay 16 points pretty much, right? So I'm going to lean Detroit plus 15.5, but I am kind of using that as a crutch and almost chalking away this game. In terms of a total, however, here, I'm going to look at the under. This Detroit team has scored 107 or less points in 5 straight games. In the last 10, the most amount of points they've scored is 117. In Milwaukee, though the defense is up and down, I do think that they can capitalize and kind of, suffocate this Detroit team here. So I'm going to lean towards Detroit and the under. Moving on, we got the Knicks taking on the Rockets. Knicks 12.5-point favorites against this Rockets club. 230 is the total. These two teams played late December. New York won by 20 points. They're 3.5-point favorites. 108-88 was the final. In their last 10, though, they're struggling a little bit. 4-6 against the spread. 1-2 in their last 3 at home. This is another psycho game, but I'm going to look at the Rockets here, plus 12.5. I think it's a little bit too much to lay, and we know the Knicks are in the doghouse, right? We took them twice last week. They let us down. They've They've lost 3 straight games, haven't covered in 3 straight games. This is a fired up Ev about this Knicks team. I'm looking at the Rockets plus the 12.5 points. In terms of injuries, Jalen Brunson is questionable, so it helps our lean too if he doesn't play. But this might be a vengeance game for me. You know, I've loved the Knicks all season long. They've made plenty of money for us, so I can't be too butthurt about it. But they've lost 2 straight times for us. I said if they don't cover it, they're going in the doghouse. Last time we took them, they're roof, barking in the doghouse. So we're taking the Thunder here, or the Rockets, excuse me, plus the 12.5 points. In terms of a total 230, I do actually take a peek at that over very slightly. Jazz taking on the Suns. Jazz 6.5 point dogs at home. Total sitting at 233.5. In late November, these two teams played. Phoenix won 113-112. They are struggling though as of late, 1-4 against the spread on the road in their last 5 games. Utah 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. I just can't trust this team right now. Phoenix obviously looking to kind of get out of this rut. They beat Philly, I want to say, a couple nights back, which was good to see, and they're getting DeAndre Ayton back, but I'm just not comfortable laying this many points with them as of late. So even though Utah is banged up, Lauri Markkanen's questionable, Jordan Clarkson out, Rudy Gay, if that matters, is out. I do think I'm still leaning Utah plus the points here. I know that, you know, they haven't, when I say that, you know, Phoenix has been struggling, I don't think Utah's been any better, if not worse, right? So I'm not trying to go down that road, but I do feel a little bit more comfortable taking that chunk of points. And sometimes that's what it is in sports betting, guys. You kind of just go with the numbers versus the feeling of the team in the gut, right? So in fact, it's more smarter to go with the numbers and analytics. And I do think that this is going to be a closer game than 7 points. Does it become a final play? Keep an eye on the pinned comment. Not the most confident about it because this Phoenix team does end up looking good against Philly. They're getting DeAndre Ayton back, right? So it's what it is right now, but I'm going to lean Utah plus the points. In terms of a total 233, I think this one actually does hit the over. I can see both these teams easily being able to get to 120 points, meaning we're looking at 240 in this dumb brain, right? Total. So I'm going to lean towards the over. All right, moving on, guys. Actually, before we do, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Again, we crushed 20,000 subscribers. Now we're on the road. I want to get to 25K. I cannot thank you guys enough. I can't. And I can't even, imagine thinking that we were going to get to this point. Like, I'm doing this because I love doing it. Do it in a car if we need to, like today. By the way, moving update. Going pretty well. Still don't have the setup set up, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, it's going well. So hopefully we can get back to your normal scheduled programming with the mic, the camera, thousands of dollars of equipment versus a car. Which I guess a car I'm recording in my most expensive equipment that I own, right? There you go. But yeah, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. Let's see if we can run up the likes in today's video. Act like that like button said something behind your back and you found out, and then you gotta go smash it. All right, go do that. But let's move on here. We got the Nuggets taking on the Sixers here. This game, Nuggets opened up at a 5.5 point favorites. Total 229.5. Philly 6-4 against spread in their last 10, but they're playing really good on the road. 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. Denver struggling at home, 1-3 against the spread. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the 5.5 points. I'm gonna take that chunk. I think that this is obviously a game where injuries will be dependent. Joel Embiid and James Harden both questionable here. Michael Porter Jr. is questionable for Denver. I don't want to be on the Philly side of things if they don't have Harden or Embiid. Obviously, Embiid being more important, but I'm going to wait out those injuries to see if we end up rolling with it here. But I do think that this is a decent amount of points to give this Sixers team. Denver, yes, gets the win against the Bucks. They've played good basketball all year long. They've won 3 or 4 straight, I believe, covered 3 straight at least. I do think that this is going to be a close game. Denver probably gets the win, but if we take Philly plus 5.5 and they win by 3, we still cover. So maybe it's a crazy pick going against a hot Denver team, but I am leaning Philly here plus the points. In terms of a total, we have 229.5 again. I think this one gets up and over that one. I think that at least one of these teams is going to kind of go off when it comes to scoring. And if I think it's going to be a close game, then we're looking at an easy cash on over. All right, Sacramento taking on the Minnesota. Yeah, Sacramento's taking on the Kings. Real smart, Evan. Sacramento taking on Minnesota. Sacramento 4-point favorites in this one. Total 241.5. First off, I do like, right away, my first reaction to this game was I like the under. They played in early March and scored a bajillion points. It was like 138 to 135, something like that. I think that they come back down to earth a little bit. They played a couple other times this season and kept it under this line. So I think that the anomaly was last game. And we've been cashing Sacramento unders a lot this season too. So I'm going to lean towards the under in this one, 241.5. In terms of a spread, 5.5, I don't think that is too many points. So I'm going to go Sacramento here. I think if they're going to come out playing decent basketball, you know, they won big. They won by 8 points against Utah last game, and I don't have this in my notes, so credit to me for remembering that. And they did not cover. It was they needed to cover by 9. They needed to win by 9 or 8.5 or something like that, and they won by 8. So they got to be right there being like, oh, what the heck? Not that they paid attention to spread, but, you know, you look at it against the spread loss, but then there's context to the AST loss, right? Like, they pretty much dominated and did their job in that game. One bucket along the way changes things. So I'm going to lean Sacramento here minus the points. And then again, in terms of the total, I'm looking at the under. Moving on, we got Portland taking on the Pelicans here. Portland 8.5-point dogs at home. I don't have a total as of right now, but I will say if it's 232 or 232.5, I'm going to lean the under. If it's anywhere around like 227, I'm going to look at the over. I think this game sticks right around that 229 to 230 mark. So use that whatever you want in your research in terms of my lean there. But in terms of a spread here, 8.5 points, I think it's a little bit too much to give this Portland team. Now, Damian Lillard's questionable. Yusuf Nurkic questionable. Jeremy Grant's questionable. Every one of the grandmothers questionable. They're on a back-to-back. Keep that in mind. But 8.5 points is a decent chunk to give, and I don't think that this Pelicans team is really worthy of laying that. Now, they've won 4 straight games, covered 4 straight games, but again, we talked about in our last video, 3 of those games were San Antonio, Houston, and Charlotte. I don't put much weight into this Pelicans streak or run, so I'm going to lean towards Portland here, and again, my over and under is going to be based on the number. All right, last game of the night, we have the Clippers taking on the Bulls. Clippers, 3.5-point favorites, total at 220.5. We're going to take a peek at the over right away. And then in terms of against the spread, I do like Chicago. 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 away games that are away tonight. They're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 here. 5-1 in their last 6. And they're 5-2 against the spread in the last 7 games against the Clippers. They must have their number to some degree. And obviously, Paul George not playing tonight. Kawhi Leonard is on the injury report. He is probable. Norm Powell is out, and Brandon Boston is also out. The Chicago team playing decent basketball. They've played for 5 of their last 6 games. Like I said, I think that you ride the hot hand right now, and I'm going to go Chicago here plus the 3.5 points, and then the over 220.5. And that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys do enjoy. Again, hit that like button. I've said it like 3 times, so we better get a bunch of likes in today's video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.